Now we'd like to continue our look at the world of television. And in 1963, the climate of broadcasting changed, and one of the major contributing factors to that was the week that was. Now, regrettably, the host is unable to be with us in person, but here he is, the international globetrotter, Mr. David Frost.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, Terry. And I've got good news for you. Mr. Brezhnev has just announced that Russian troops have no intention of invading Poland. They've merely paused on the Polish border on their way to Paris, Bonn, and London. Isn't that reassuring news, eh? I wanted to give you good news, and it's good news for me, too, to be able to introduce some of my old and well-loved colleagues. First of all, the man who was accused of being more like Harold Macmillan than Harold Macmillan himself, Mr. Willie Rushton. Then there was our multi-million-pound import from Coronation Street, Mr. Kenneth Cope. Then there was the man who gave us single-handedly part shares for Britain in the West Indian Calypso, Mr. Lance Percival.
December news update. President-elect Ronald Reagan has finally let slip that he does dye his hair black. He gave the game away when he announced that he is changing the address of the White House from 1,600 Pennsylvania Avenue to Grecian 2000 Pennsylvania.
In Tehran, Ayatollah Khalkhali, the notorious Islamic judge, has been voted Public Speaker of the Year. With over 10,000 death sentences to his credit, he seems people hang on his every word.
Mrs. Thatcher has announced that things being the way they are, further sacrifices will have to be made. Starting next week with Sir Geoffrey Howe on the Bardic slab Stonehenge. A word to the wise, if you ever see Sir Keith Joseph smile, emigrate.
And now, the girl who sang on every edition of That Was the Week That Was, got us off on the right note every time. Here she is, side by side with her singing colleague, Julia Mackenzie, the one and only Millicent Martin. I'm delighted to welcome back with this tribute to British television.
People began to speak the way that only real people can. Time had come to speak the truth, a little more bitter, less gin and vermouth. Tragedies and social hardships we were asked to share, and on the scene of real life dramas, the camera was there. One thing that TV cannot possibly be accused of, lack of foresight. For in that saga keeps you in your home with lovable Jolyon and dirty old Soames. Many men were seen, noses to the screen, could have loved to be there to say good night, Irene.
And from the Forsyte saga, Miss Irene Dawn Porter and Mr. Kenneth Moore.
In love with Scotty, what touch?
The British contingent, though, needless to say, went about things in a more sedate way.
Evening old, on a bicycle, maybe, in the days of Dock Green. Na, na, na. No hiding place since its cousin came onto the scene. Come on. Na, na, na.
And off patrol and with us tonight from No Hiding Place, Raymond Francis and Eric Lander.
And from Z-Cast, Terence Edmonds, James Ellis, Joe Brady, and Frank Windsor.
On Sunday nights, those above would pray to see which rating would come their way. You could always bet on a country set, all creatures great and small, and the BBC made them all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carol Drinkwater and Miss Christopher Timothy.
The bouquet of barbed wire was quite the reversal. The cats were called in for an undress rehearsal. Frank Finley's casebook, the man kept on scoring. They do say that incest is relatively boring. Were viewers outraged? They didn't give comfort. They waited to see who would get their comeuppance.
And coming up right now from Bouquet of Barbed Wire, Susan Penhaligon, James Aubrey, Deborah Grant, and Frank Finley.
In a wee Scottish village, as quiet as a lamb, two doctors were having a wee little dram. Now Janet, the housekeeper, somewhat aloof, didn't mind that the doctors were lonely. She needed to have at least a 90% proof for medicinal purposes only. And here are Dr. Finlay and Dr. Cameron, portrayed by Bill Simpson and Andrew Cruikshank.
The Parishes, Ruth Allison, the Duchess of Duke Street, the prime of Miss Jean Brodie, who was rather indiscreet.
And what went on within these walls behind closed doors at 9? Was Casanova giving Jenny the O'Neill's line? The brothers' love for Lydia made everybody grin. Did Hadley rather sadly wait for when the fourth comes in? The Waltons lost their roots and went to Peyton Place quite gaily. Both Poldark and Clayhanger loved their rumple of the Bailey.
Was Lindley the Sidley with a horseman riding by?
Did Claudius, the Claudius, give everyone his eye? Well, they can't all be winners.
But when it came back to be rocking little dollies, a singing, swinging trio in a show. Rock parties, and here are Rulinska
And Charlotte Cornwell. Those wartime exploits were well to the fore. Some series ran longer than even the war. But for many, adventure would still hold its glory, and for sheer escapism, hold its story. And those who haven't escaped being with us here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Jack Headley
And Maya.
and Christopher Neame.
Waiting around on the ones upstairs, jump at the sound of a bell. Life below stairs never was fair, what with all those goings on around Eaton Square. Waiting around on the ones upstairs, keeping that kitchen so clean. Hudson had to take off his gloves to all those little scrubbers who were falling in love.
And from upstairs, David Langton. Ian Ogilvy. Rachel Gaddy. Joan Benham. And Simon Williams.
And from downstairs, Patsy Smart. Jimmy Thomason. Christopher Beatty. And Gordon Jackson.
We'd like to assure you tonight the security couldn't have been better planned. So just a reminder that we got the minder and you're in professional hands.
And from the Minder, George Cole and Dennis Waterman.
And from the professionals, Louis Collins and Martin Shaw.
It's not so funny. A bit funny. But making someone happy is a precious thing. So coming on now to take a bow now. Laughter makers who can make the rafters ring. And the comedy shows, all gas and gauges and no brother, Mr. Derek Nimmo.
Now, is there a doctor in the house? Jeffrey Davis and Clark, Jackie Ann Carr and George Layton.